This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're gonna acknowledge me.
Welcome, everybody, to the Night 2 review of WrestleMania 41. I will be completely honest, I have not seen the whole PLE yet. As I am recording this, the main event of John Cena and Cody Rhodes is ongoing. I have it silently on the background, so I don't know what's happening or has happened yet. I will review the main event towards the end of the show and give you my comments on the results of it. So I just want to let you know up front. Otherwise, I'd give you the comments, but I'm not Nostradamus, so I don't know what's going to happen yet. So before that, I've seen everything else, okay, other than the outcome of the match I'm watching between Cody and John right now. The reason I'm doing that is so that I can get you guys a review up immediately following WrestleMania. Otherwise, it wouldn't be till tomorrow night, and I want to give you a reaction right away because this WrestleMania Night 2 has felt like WrestleMania, whereas last night had glimpses of it, but it generally felt like outside of the main event and the U.S. title match and the women's match, very much a status quo PLE, nothing spectacular, no big returns. And this tonight was completely the opposite so far. And again, I don't even know what's happening yet in the main event, so it can only be better. It was, again, from top to bottom, a vastly improved night. Yes, the star power was higher. That certainly helps. You have the bigger matches on the bigger card of the last night. That has certainly kind of been the case over the last 5 years since they've started this format of two nights. And this was no exception. In fact, I would argue that this has been the most top-heavy two-night format of WrestleMania since it started. So, I mean, this was very much a top-heavy event, but so much to get to. So much to get to as I continue to watch the main event here of John and Cody, which is so far a nice pace. The John Cena entrance that was just dark, no lights, just his name and a spotlight. It was great. Some boos for Cody. There were some boos for Cody, not exceptionally loud, but noticeable. So that's something WWE, for the first time ever since Cody has come to the company, they need to keep an eye on if they're concerned about Cody being organically turned by the fans. But I want to start, let me just start with, first of all, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I need to start there. Now, he may still show up in this match. I have my doubts because they already had him come out and cost the company potentially millions of dollars in a lawsuit. Oh my God. Probably not given what happened, but if you watch it, that woman that got knocked down, it looked like she should be okay. And I hope she is. I really genuinely do. But when you have Nick Khan, the guy that owns the company, out there talking with this fan, knowing what could be at stake, which is many millions of dollars in a lawsuit, that's serious, right? That is the last thing on my bingo card that I would have checked off as a possibility for Stone Cold to crash his ATV into the barricade, and you could see his face like, oh crap. And he talked to the fan. He had to get in the ring and do his business, but I'm sure he's like, crap. I come out here and I do a circle around the ring, crash it into the barricade, knock a fan over, potentially cost the company millions, potentially. And now he's in the ring cutting his promo, telling us how many people are in the building over the last night and two nights, and he drinks a couple of beers and then goes off into the sunset. I will say it's about time something like this happens. Not that, of course, I wanted it to happen, but he's been driving around that ATV for I don't know how many years now, decades it feels like, and nothing has ever happened. Well, finally it did, and he crashed into a barricade. I mean, it's low-key funny. And the more I watch it, the funnier it gets. I mean, I really do hope that woman is okay. But my God, that's funny. It's funny. Again, making sure the woman's okay. I really do mean that. So just watching the replay of him crashing his ATV, you talk about something I never thought I'd see. Well, here you go. And by the way, I have been watching and pausing as I'm recording here during the main event. And the boos are, I just said they're not that loud for Cody. They're not just noticeable. I would say 50-50 at best for Cody. And it's that damn male audience that it must be that internet audience that showed up that Triple H warned us about. It must be that those damn internet fans that decided to make their presence known at the event. You know, they're known for voicing their unapproved opinions. And so that's what these people must be that are booing Cody. And so anyway, it is loud though. It is loud. I can't turn the volume up because I want to continue here with the review. And it's so far a solid match with John and Cody because their pacing is really nice here. The pacing is really nice. There's already been one kick out of an AA. Probably the most kicked out finisher of all time might be his, even more than the Crossroads. They both got very unprotected finishes. John Cena going for an AA off the top or the second rope. 1, 2, kick out. There's your second AA kick out. Off the second rope, John Cena getting frustrated, but the fans are, especially those male fans, are starting to cheer for John Cena, loving the fact that he turned heel, I think. But yeah, that's it with Austin. Now again, we may see an appearance from him here in the match, but it seems less and less likely. We'll have to see. Now, starting off with the women's match, the triple threat. You talk about a contrast of nights. That was one of the best starts to WrestleMania I've ever seen. Incredible. Hats off to all three women. Crowd continued to boo and boo Bianca pretty loudly. I would say Io and Rhea were pretty much on the same footing with crowd support. We did have Io come out first. I'm not a fan of that. I like champions coming out last, but we got Io coming out first. And then Bianca with her hair twirling and just obnoxiousness that her babyface character is. And it's just run its course. And I've been saying this for years that she should turn heel. Oh, another Cody cutter. Hold on. I'm going to be cutting in with like commentary here. 1, 2, kick out. Okay. Cody cutter's not a finish, but it's still a nice kind of false finish deeper into the match. And latest update here. I hate to do this, but I want to make sure I get this commentary in case I don't remember to say it at the end of the show with the main event review. John Cena hit another AA, 3 AAs, 4 AAs, went for the STFU. Referee, of course, takes a bump, which means, something's going to happen. The obligatory ref bump during a Cody match. And then Travis Scott comes out after a 4th AA with the exposed ring turnbuckle didn't work. Travis Scott comes out. Essentially, everyone just sits and waits for Travis Scott to stroll down, the road here, this mile-long ramp. So everybody's just sitting there waiting for this just jerk. I'm sorry. What he did at Elimination Chamber is just, I know it's pro wrestling, but he still took liberties. And so he comes down the ramp. I don't know what's happening after that. I paused it because I need to continue with this review. So we get this really awesome main event here. I mean, I looked at it as a main event. Could have easily main evented the PLE. It really could have. And I thought they would have main evented the night 1 with this, but they opened night 2 with it. And again, Bianca Belair booed. We had Rhea Ripley, pretty uneven keel, as I said, with Io Sky in terms of crowd support. And the maneuvers these women did, the timing, the pacing, essentially no botches. I didn't see anything that was out of sorts. These women just kicked ass and absolutely incredible. The amount of false finishes they had. Eventually, Io Sky comes out on top after riptides and moonsaults and just all of it. Just awesome. Just awesome. I mean, you talk about a change in just 24 hours in tone of starting a show from Jey Uso and Gunther to this. And one thing I want to mention about Jey and Gunther, I know that was last night, but Jay's whole promo that he cut, remember the one that I was really, just threw flowers at his feet for? How he said he was going to have to pray to God for the man he was going to become at WrestleMania? What exactly was that? What did that mean? What is he talking about? What man? What did he do that he normally wouldn't have done? What did he have to pray for that he has to ask for forgiveness now? What did he do exactly? So I don't know. That's just another thing that I was kind of annoyed by. Again, Jay's champion is fine, but all right. Back to the women. These women killed it, and is a match of the night contender despite what happens here with Cena and with Cody. This was just awesome, and the right woman won. Rhea didn't need it. Bianca, I thought, was a close second because they could have put it on her and the crowd would have lost their minds and she would have instantly been turned to heel. And Io Sky, I think the crowd at the end of it was saying, "Okay, awesome. You're our champion. Let's go." So she retained. Crowd loved it, and I did too. I thought it was just absolutely perfect. So hats off to Rhea, hats off to Bianca, and hats off to Rhea Ripley. Just an absolute classic match. It just awesome. Now, on to the next matchup here. It was, I don't know if I have the pacing right or the order correct, but was it Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest in a Sin City Street fight? I think it might have been. So this match I had the kind of middle of the road hopes for. It didn't exactly excite me. I thought Drew was capable of more or deserved more. No disrespect to Damian, but Drew has had a career year. And this match was still very good. Very good. Physical. The chair wrapped around the neck of Damian Priest was, you're wondering what he's going to do there. The Claymore that he did to finish the match on Damian into the chair was the right finish. Drew winning was the right finish. I think that these two put in as much effort as they could. The table bumps, they both had cuts on them by the end of the matchup. Just a very fun, physical match that both men deserve high praise for. And no outside interference. It was Drew McIntyre getting the victory as he should have. As he should have. I mean, again, having him lose here, I think, would have really set the bar a little bit lower for where we can expect Drew to be. But Drew winning is where he should be, and he should move up. So Drew won here, and he should, and it was great. No complaints in this matchup. These two certainly worked well together, and I hope this program, though, is done. I've been waiting for the Damian Priest Drew McIntyre program to just be over with, and it should be. It definitely should be. So, alrighty. Let's now talk AJ Styles and Logan Paul. A match that I think there's a lot of people who were angry about the finish. Why would Logan Paul beat AJ Styles? AJ Styles doesn't have many WrestleManias left. He's a legend in the business. Logan Paul is, inexperienced, this and that. Has anybody been watching Logan Paul? Those of you that are criticizing this finish, number one, the business is built on stars. How do you make stars? You use existing stars to help build new ones. That's not to say you need to bury existing ones to build new ones. But you need to use the existing stars to put them in a position where they can help a younger star get over, even if it means the younger star loses. In this case, Logan Paul winning, I think, was actually the good move here, because Logan Paul, while he had a fun little U.S. championship run, has been in and out, not really here. He's kind of there. He says he's full-time, but then he backs off. Logan Paul, after this victory, needs to lock into a somewhat full-time schedule and be on TV pretty regularly. I think that this was a matchup that Logan Paul needed. It's a matchup he can use to catapult to that next level. I think AJ Styles is hurt exactly 0% by this loss. This doesn't hurt AJ Styles in the least. He lost to Logan Paul, and he lost to Logan Paul because one of his entourage was trying to give him his brass knucks. Karrion Kross shows up at ringside, takes the brass knucks from his puppet, I can't remember his name, and then shows AJ Styles, hey, just take these knucks and knock out Logan Paul. He rejects Karrion Kross's offer, hits Karrion Kross, goes in the ring, goes for a phenomenal forearm. It backfires into a a pulverizer, right? Pulverizer, and Logan Paul gets the victory. And again, he should have. He should have. It was the right move. He will not be hurt by this. I'm not worried about AJ Styles. He's Teflon. You reach that point in your career where there's not really much they can do to you that will hurt you. You didn't have to make a very concentrated effort for years in order to damage your career. That's not what's going to happen here. AJ Styles is locked in. I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about building to the future. And I've had people say to me on X too, on Twitter, or whatever you want to call it, that no, Logan Paul's the future. Well, he's got a one-on-one WrestleMania match. I'd say that WWE feels he's the future. You don't get a one-on-one WrestleMania match for, 15 minutes or so. You don't get that amount of time at the biggest event of the year in a one-on-one position if they don't have the confidence that you could be part of the future of the company. Not maybe the face of the company, but a big player. And I think they're absolutely right. Love or hate him. And those people that just say the future, yeah, you guys, those of you who feel that way, you have your personal animosity towards Logan Paul is blinding you from the professional truth, which is he is damn good. Is he perfect? No. Does he not sell much? Yeah, but that's kind of an industry-wide problem. Nobody sells anything anymore. So it's kind of, that's a complaint that's not going to go anywhere because you'd have to change the whole industry and how everyone approaches every match, which isn't going to happen. But Logan Paul did what he needed to do. Was it a 5-star match? No. It was just exactly what it needed to be, though, to put him on the map again in front of fans and put him in the minds of fans and get a victory over AJ Styles on a big stage. It's what you needed, right? All right, so we had some more big surprises here. Number 1, we had the Women's Tag Team Championship. Now, I'm going a little bit out of order here. We'll get to Randy Orton in a minute. We had the Women's Tag Team Championship. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez took on Lyra Valkyria and a partner of her choosing. Bayley was, quote-unquote, injured, although, again, that is a storyline. Apparently, it's not true. She was actually injured. And kind of running through your mind, who could it be? Who could it be? And no one saw Becky Lynch coming. I didn't. Not going to pretend I did. I didn't even think. I mean, we saw her with backstage reactions to Seth Rollins' heel turn the night before. And you're thinking, oh, okay. And she was on I don't know if it was WWE After Dark or one of the events over the last week where she said that she's not going to be into wrestling right now. And she duped us all. And good for her. Good for her. She, it's not easy to do nowadays. So I didn't think she was going to ever come out. And she did. And it was fun to see her get a pop. I haven't really missed her, I have to say. I haven't been sitting here going, oh my God, when she comes back, she should face this person, that person, go after the championship. It's going to be so much better. The women's division needs her. I haven't been saying that. But I'm not the voice of the fans, but me personally, I haven't been dying to have her back. But the fans reacted extremely positive to Becky. And she looked great. She really did. She looked awesome. She had looked like she didn't really miss a beat in the ring. And she gets in there and puts on as good of a match as you can have with the time they did with Raquel and Liv. And they end up winning the Women's Tag Team Championships. So Liv and Raquel drop the belts to Lyra and to Becky Lynch, of all people. Now, it's highly likely that tag team championship does not last long, and or the Intercontinental Championship on Lyra does not last long, because Lyra as a double champion is not really in the card. It doesn't seem like it's in the cards right now. She's not established enough to stay at that tier for too long. I don't hate it. It just seems in our pro wrestling minds, it doesn't really fit. It's a square peg round hole situation. So I don't think it's going to stay long. So perhaps Becky doesn't keep the belts for very long and she drops it and goes back to motherhood. I'm not sure. I don't know if she's back for the long haul. I don't know if she's back for a 1 month stint into Backlash, drop the belts at Backlash, and then Lyra's still IC champion and she goes into her own program while Becky goes back to, again, being a mom. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what the deal is with Becky here, but clearly she's going to be around for at least a little while as the women's half of the women's tag team champions. And she, by the way, the finish was her hitting the manhandle slam on Liv Morgan for the victory. And hell of an outfit that Liv Morgan chose too, by the way. And I say that kind of half serious. I mean, obviously, you guys know how I feel about certain outfits that are worn and why it's just not a good look. Your core male audience is 18 to 45, still is, probably always will be. You heard them very loud and clear tonight with the boos for Cody and especially Bianca, which she should have just embraced the damn heel turn, for God's sakes. But my point is, you can say all you want that, women can wear whatever they want, and they can, but also don't be surprised when men react the way they do to the things that you wear on television as a public figure. You can't try to have your cake and eat it too. When we notice something, and then you want us to notice something, we notice it, and then you get annoyed that we notice it, or say, why are you noticing something that I want you to notice? Do you know what I mean? However, Liv Morgan is she's one of the most improved wrestlers in the women's division in the last 12 to 18 months. She's done awesome things. She has she's dropped the belts here, but she doesn't belong in the tag team division. Let's be honest. Liv in the tag team division doesn't seem to fit anymore for me. I'm not a fan of it. So, all right, couple more matches here as I continue to watch the main event. I've actually paused it because it's just going to distract me. I know something big is about to happen. And with the magic of audio, I actually have seen the main event. Start to finish, I am very antsy to get to the main event. I've got... Oh, God. Oh, my God. Okay, let's continue. I promise we're going to get to it, because if I don't, I'm going to go on like a 20-minute rant just about the main event. So let's continue with the rest of the card. So where was I? The women's tag team titles, Becky Lynch is half of the women's tag team champions. Now, let's get to the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, Penta, and Dominic Mysterio. Now, something interesting happened during this match. The fans congealed around Dominic Mysterio. Yes, they were in support of Braun Breaker. They like Penta. Finn was the indifference guy. He was just there. I think fans just kind of a little bit bored by him. Dominic, though, was part of those fan favorites there. And first, let me say, the first thing is that there are too many multi-person matches in this WrestleMania. Just way too many multi-person matches on top of 7 matches a show with multi-people. It's too many. But you knew that these 4 men were going to kick ass, and they did. They did. I thought the match was very good. Dominic Mysterio was getting a lot of support from the crowd, which is really the story here. He ends up winning the Intercontinental Championship and did it by hitting a frog splash and pinning Finn Balor after Balor ends up pulling him off the top rope. So that is pretty much done. This is a done deal with Finn and Dom. I think Judgment Day, for all intents and purposes, should be just dissolved. And by the way, they also announced Io Sky as part of Damage Control. Is Damage Control still a thing? Does Alicia Taylor know this, or am I missing something? But hey, Dominic Mysterio is finally getting to a point where the fans have gotten all their hate out for him. They've gotten all their hate out, and they're just ready to embrace him. They're ready to just say, you know what? You're the lovable loser. You got your ass kicked for over, a couple years now. You've gotten your ass kicked. We've booed the hell out of you. We've done it enough. All right. We've disciplined you enough. It's time for us to love you. And that's what they're telling Dom. It's the respect factor. He is a Mysterio. He is doing a lot of the Eddie Guerrero stuff. And you know what I think he should do? He should go down this road. I wouldn't fight it. The fans are starting to embrace Dom, and he should do the lie, cheat, and steal thing, because he's an underhanded guy. I wouldn't change his whole character. He should embrace some Eddie Guerrero tactics, because he's usually going to be the underdog, because he's a smaller dude. He just doesn't look that imposing, and he can fly around the ring, but he's never going to overpower anybody. And if you're going to turn him babyface, you just make him endearing to watch him cheat. That's a tough thing to do, but I think, if you follow the formula of Eddie Guerrero, they could make that happen. and have some funny things happen, and he just stumbles into victories. And what's also going to be great with Dominic Mysterio's run here, perhaps we finally get, for the first time in his career, a Dominic Mysterio promo. We'll get to hear how good he is on the mic, because with all the boos, he hasn't had to learn how to cut a promo, because he knows going out there that the fans are just going to boo him off the mic, and he's not going to have a chance to do that. So now that we've denied him that skill, we're going to find out how much damage we did for years of booing him off the mic by not allowing him to speak, and try to cut a babyface promo and see what that looks like. I think he'll be fine. He's gotten a lot more seasoned since, the insufferable days of him and Ray teaming together before the turn, which was just, if you heard me back then, I was never a fan of that. It was just kind of just too soft and gooey. But then he turned, and obviously we know the rest is history, as they say. And this run, it will be different. I think he'll be a successful babyface. I really do. And I really don't know if it's the international crowd or if it's going to be just a trend. I think it'll be a trend, because people are starting to realize, hey, it's getting boring booing Dom. Like, we respect the guy, and he can be a lovable loser. He's got this goofy mustache. Like, it's turning, and the fans are telling WWE, hey, it's time. All right. So Randy Orton's open challenge. Let me talk about that before we get to this main event. My God, the main event. So you knew it was either going to be Nick Aldis, Rusev, Aleister Black, one of those three. And there was a fourth of Joe Hendry floating around, and news came in late that Joe Hendry was backstage at WrestleMania. I missed that. So hearing Joe Hendry's music, the pop was great. The match was only 3 minutes. I understand that, which I wish it was longer, 8 minutes, 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10 minutes, but it was only 3.5 or so. And having him come out there, and the crowd was just so behind him. You're thinking, oh crap, are they going to boo Randy now? And initially they got more behind Hendry than they did Orton. And once they settled down, I think it was, especially after the RKOs, people were like, all right, well, it's Randy. Like, we love you, Joe. You're going to be the future here. But, we don't know how much more Randy Orton has left in the tank. He's an absolute icon in the business. He's still got it. Let's see what's going to happen here. And Joe Hendry put up a little bit of a fight, but you knew that Randy Orton, as Wade Barrett said, you could put Godzilla as his opponent tonight, and he wouldn't have won or beaten Randy Orton. And that's what happened, right? Randy Orton beat whoever it was going to be, and that's exactly what it needed to be. And it also gave a lot of exposure, if not maximum exposure. There's no bigger, better exposure you can give anybody than being in a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. And yes, he lost, but no one cares that he lost, because it's Randy Orton, number one. You talk about a rub, as Bully Ray said. It's true. It's a massive rub for him to come in there and do that as the TNA World Champ. And now we look forward to when exactly he's going to be coming to the main roster. Is it going to be sooner than later? Usually the tea leaves are when he drops the belt, but he's doing crossover things now. And as he continues to kind of dip his toe into WWE, it won't really be a full-time dive into the deep end until he drops that TNA World title. So that's really going to be the telltale sign. And I don't know how long they're planning on keeping him champion over there. But boy, he's a perfect example of having catchy theme song and a catchy little gimmick can get your ass over. Ask Cody Rhodes. Yes, Cody Rhodes is incredibly talented in the ring and very good on the mic, and that doesn't hurt, obviously. But if you've got a catchy entrance and extremely catchy music, it can take you a long way. Despite a lot of flaws, it can take you a long way. Not all the way, but it can cover up and deodorize a lot of problems while you figure out the rest of your character. And I think Joe Hendry, while he's not really good on the mic, I think he'll improve, figure out a little bit more of what he is. Just get better, and it's going to be fun to see. So good night for Randy as he RKOs Joe Hendry twice, almost went for a third, and then tricked us all and then just left, which was fine. All right, so it's funny. Last night, as we get to the main event here, it was universally, I think, believed that the main event saved the show. The main event was the pillar of the show. It really just brought the show up before it ended on an otherwise kind of lame duck night one. And tonight was kind of the opposite. Not to say the main event was it didn't bring me down to the point of turning on night two as a disaster. And quite the contrary, night two was immeasurably better than night one. It just felt actually like WrestleMania. Between the finishes, the crowd was hotter. It was great. Now, I didn't enjoy all the celebrities who they bring out and show every 5 seconds in the crowd. Most of the time, I'm sitting there going, I have no idea who you are. I knew who Dean Norris was. I only knew who Dean Norris was because I watched Breaking Bad. Yeah, Hank Schrader. That's the only guy. Everybody else, I go, who is this? I am completely removed from pop culture, or they just picked out anyone that has a rap label, or any kind of music label, and they said, hey, if you're sitting anywhere near us, write down your name. We'll come to you, and we'll get your face on TV. And I know they're doing it so that they can show that celebrities are out. Look how big of an event this is. We have the celebrities to see what we're doing. I get it. It's all optics. But most of the time I sat there and I was like, I just felt like a dum-dum because I'm like, I don't know who you are, dude. I've never heard of you ever. And I've never heard of Travis Scott ever until he showed up at Elimination Chamber. And I'm just like, who's this guy? Who's this goof? Right? He shows up at The Rock. Still don't understand what he's doing here or why he's being afforded main event status. Being the guy who is the difference maker in the main event of WrestleMania is Travis effing Scott. What? Honestly, it makes it worse that I don't know who he was up until a month ago. But even if it was somebody I knew that was a celebrity, I don't want celebrities determining the outcomes of WrestleMania. Or any outcomes for that matter on a high stakes match. So I gave you a little bit of commentary throughout the show about the matches. I was watching it go on. And it was kind of what you'd expect. Slower pace match. John Cena's pace even in his heyday, was never quick. It's power move. It's smooth, but just power. And that's fine. I'm not criticizing him. You just knew what it was going to be. And that's what we got. And we also got kickouts of I don't know. I think it was by the end of it, if I'm calculating it correctly. We'll get some case studies done on this, but I think it was about 17 AAs that he kicked out of. I think it was 3, but maybe 4. But he ends up getting a ref. As I said, a ref took a bump, and then you're like, okay, here comes The Rock. Here comes The Rock. Nope, no Rock. No Rock. There is no Rock. Apparently he's in Hawaii, which I thought was just something that he posted to throw us off. Nope. The Rock continues to tell us he's all about storytelling, yet he doesn't come here to tell us the story. I don't want to hear he's into long-term storytelling. You can't continue to go months at a time between your sit down and gather round while I read you my story and expect us to be invested when you take months between doing that. It makes it worse that it's WrestleMania. No one's even mentioning The Rock, and now we know why. Because The Rock didn't have any plans of showing up at WrestleMania. And I don't want to hear, well, we're trying to do something different. We're thinking long term. No. I understand that you can have things branch from WrestleMania, but there's no excuse for you not to be at WrestleMania. How is The Rock not there? I don't care if he's on Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania and we get... No. It's over. Done deal. Like, how is he not there? It's inexcusable. It's inexcusable. You could have absolutely had him in there. I don't want to hear that it's, well, he had another project. I don't want to hear that anymore. I don't accept that excuse anymore. If you're on the board of a company, that should be one of your top priorities. Especially a company like WWE that ran in your family for generations, that you spent a good part of your career, that helped make you the star you are today. I don't want to hear that it's, well, I had another project. I'm done with that. I don't want to hear it. I don't accept that. I reject it. So, inexcusable for The Rock not to be here. Despite the fact that you kind of knew Austin wasn't going to be involved in the main event after he cost the company millions of dollars in a potential lawsuit and then drank some beer and you're like, oh, okay, well, there's Austin's segment. He's not coming back out. It might be a chance, but in all likelihood, no. And then instead you get Travis Scott, who took 46 minutes to walk to the ring while both John Cena and Cody Rhodes had to lay there and take a nap before, Travis Scott decided to, hurry the hell up and get down to the ring. And, I don't know who he knows in WWE that they make him try to feel so important that he can get his own entrance at WrestleMania and then be a part of the main event that ends in the outcome because of him. Like, he influenced the finish. Yes, Cody Rhodes got a little bit of a receipt. Now, let me just say this too. Cody Rhodes, if you guys that support Cody Rhodes as a babyface character still support him as a babyface character, you are fools. The reason I say that is because if you're going to support a guy that there's nothing you can do to in order for him to defend himself, this dude's he's not a man. Character-wise, guys. Character-wise. I'm not saying as a person, as a family man. Character. What I'm watching on TV, okay? Before people start talking about, toxic masculinity. I don't want to hear it. Okay. I'm talking about character. I want to be clear before I trigger some of you guys. And if I do, I mean, it just is what it is. But this dude's not a man. You look at time and again, Cody Rhodes gets his ass beat. He gets his ass beat at Elimination Chamber. Humiliated. Literally punched in the face by Travis Scott, who took actual liberties with him. John Cena kicks him in the nuts. Humiliates him. Turns on him at Elimination Chamber. What does Cody Rhodes do? Well, I'm gonna have some harsh words for you. Gosh darn. Yeah. And sure, he's really good at promos. But is there anything that you can do to this character that will stop making him so accepting to be a good guy? And you look at tonight, as John Cena is about to hit him with the championship after Travis Scott, was out there. John Cena or Cody Rhodes caught it in the slowest attempt at a title shot to the head of all time. But Cody Rhodes caught it and then had it in his hands, and John Cena's begging. And you're thinking to yourself, wait a sec. Again, you guys have been trying to kill each other throughout the match. Why aren't you just returning the favor to John Cena? Well, he shouldn't win the match like that. No, it's tit for tat here. Right? Turnabout's fair play. But the wholesome Cody Rhodes, nothing can shake him. You could essentially light his family on fire in front of him. And he would come up to you afterwards with the little, the little mad face. And he's like, I've got some really mean things I'm going to say about you. Will anything just trigger him to start a fight? I mean, it's ridiculous. So he doesn't do that. And of course, John Cena once again kicks him in the nuts, as he should have. And the crowd cheered as they should have. And Cody Rhodes gets his ass beat 1, 2, 3. Bam. And there's another example. After Travis Scott got in the ring, he ends up getting face-to-face with Cody. And I'm thinking, okay, hey, Cody. After Cody was screaming to Travis Scott on the outside, I remember pointing to his face. And Wade Barrett is saying he's owed a really large receipt. I'm thinking, yeah, no, like real. And what does Cody do? He just goes face-to-face. I'm thinking, dude, just take your shot. What do you do? I mean, I understand you're not, it's all in the script that this is what's going to happen, but there are still things you can do to pay Travis Scott back. He's a company guy. No, you protect the business. Protecting the business. Respect for yourself. Your character is primary, the number one priority. And what does he do? Oh, he hits him with one of the, a crappy, well, I shouldn't say crappy. Credit to Travis Scott. He took it like a champ. As good as you can take a Crossroads. Probably because he's the height of a middle school kid. But he did. He took a really nice Crossroads, as sixth graders would. And he laid there and he just kicked out of the ring. And I'm like, no, that's not the receipt. No. Not a pro wrestling move. No. You give him what he gave you. That's what after the Crossroads, what I would have done if I was Cody, but Cody doesn't do it because he's too nice of a guy, which is just really starting to, I mean, I don't know how it doesn't bother people now, but I would have just, as I'm kicking him out of the ring, give him one shot to the right to the face and then kicked him out of the ring. That was the perfect place to do it, perfect time to do it. And instead he just kicks him out of the ring. It's like, that's not a receipt, dude. Receipts don't come. That is not. But so again, Cody Rhodes just doesn't take advantage of what he should. He doesn't defend himself until it's too late, and even then he doesn't learn his lesson, as we saw again with John Cena. He falls for John Cena again. He's been fooled twice by John Cena. It makes him look like a fool. It makes you feel stupid, or it should, for supporting Cody Rhodes as a character. Because he continues to be fooled by being a nice guy. And don't even get me started about him walking out of his truck or van that has his stupid dog's face on the back of it. And he walks out there with these glasses that look like they came from some kind of consignment shop or some kind of magic shop. And then he's smiling at like nothing. Because, hey, I'm a good guy. What a great day. It's WrestleMania. By golly. I mean, I'm glad he's dropped the belts. John Cena, 17th championship is a big deal. It is. Ric Flair's record's gone. John Cena is, again, greatest of all time. I don't care what Cole says. It's still up for debate. No, there's no more debate. Well, if you just go by a number of championships, that's a really narrow metric to measure what you value as great. Because there's a lot of other things you can value as great. Longevity. There's people that have lasted longer than John Cena, not many. But also John Cena hasn't exactly been full-time the last 5 to 10 years. So there's that. They can say, 20 years. But dude, you haven't really been here for most of that time. I mean, it'd be like Brock Lesnar coming back, and he could have the same claim to fame. Hey, I've been here as long as you. But greatness is subjective. Everyone defines greatness differently. And Cole continues to tell us that greatness is how many championships you have, apparently, according to him, because that's how he measures John Cena as the greatest of all time. I don't think John Cena is the greatest of all time. He's one of. How I define it is a combination of things on top of an intangible that you can't really put your finger on. Industry changing guys that, spike ratings, that, inject themselves into pop culture, into the mainstream culture, and bring people in that didn't know they liked wrestling, or brought people back that forgot about it and are used to be fans and now are fans again. Right. There's lots of ways. Again, greatest of all time for me is Stone Cold. You guys know that. I mean, that's just me, but everyone has their own. So I don't want to hear all that force-fed crap from Michael Cole that we constantly hear. No, Cole. Greatest by definition is up for debate because greatest does not have a singular definition. So sorry, dude. But the other thing Cole said, and I think overall the commentary was pretty good. I really do. I had no issue with the commentary for the most part. Pat McAfee got a little off the rails, as he does some of the time. But Cole was trying to explain away why Bianca was getting booed at the beginning of her entrance. And he concluded, that it was because of the way she refereed the match between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. That's the reason. I can guarantee you most people forgot about that. Cole, no, that's not it. The reason is people are tired of her babyface character. They want something different. That's kind of it. It's nothing to do with a single and also people were booing her before that match. How do you explain that? Did people have a premonition she was going to be a referee and have a decision that the fans would disagree with? Actually, logically, she had a great decision in that match because she was being manhandled and should have called for a double disqualification. In fact, she followed the rule book. She didn't do anything that any other referee wouldn't have done. So that was a really bad analogy by Cole. I know he's trying to rationalize it for the negative response that she had been getting. And he's trying to come up with something. I appreciate that. I do. But that was a lame excuse, bro. But anyway, I think, guys, night 2, far superior to night 1. Match of the whole show, the best match out of the entire event for both nights was last night's triple threat with Rollins, Reigns, and Punk. Yes, the outcome wasn't anything earth-shattering. I know they're trying to make it earth-shattering because they're trying to sell the story, but we all knew there were 3 possibilities, and the one that was the most interesting happened. And it was just, as I mentioned last night, it was executed to perfection. That match was 4 3/4 stars out of 5. Just awesome. I really can't complain about the match quality. It exceeded even my expectations about how good these guys could be. And it does, as we speculated, if this happened, make you wonder about what's next for Seth. Seth is now a heel again, but what does this version of a heel Seth look like? And that's going to be fun to watch. And, so to me, last night's main event, didn't just blow away this main event with Cody and with John, but I think was better than any other match on the show. That's me. There were some other highlights in there, including most of night 2. Most of night 2 was just spectacular. Just awesome. The women's triple threat was as good as advertised. And all the women just absolutely killed it. The Raw after Mania tomorrow night is going to be, I think, loud as hell. Still in Vegas. A lot of those WrestleMania fans hung around or will hang around for the Raw after Mania. There's still a lot to unpack, a lot to follow up on. Now a lot to build to May 10th for Backlash. Because Backlash, not that far away. 3 weeks. Boom, we're back to it. So now we're post-Mania. We can start talking about WrestleMania 42 in New Orleans. We can start talking about it. And I don't know what next year's plans are, but tonight, I will say again, overall, very good. Felt like WrestleMania. Match quality, for the most part, was it met and exceeded expectations for most. The main event was a mixed feeling because it wasn't so much for me about having a great match with John Cena. I'm looking forward to it. How great is it? It was more about, to me, the story here and how they're going to get John Cena the championship, which they did, and how The Rock was going to play a role. I thought Travis Scott would be there, but I didn't think he played this big of a role. And how Austin comes out and does what he's going to do, and I bet you they wish they booked it my way. Then they wouldn't be having, the owner of the company come out and try to sweeten the pot a bit for this potential massive lawsuit for this woman. I'll have to go watch it in slow-mo again. So we'll see what happens with that. It doesn't look like she's hurt, but these days you can sue over anything. Even if they have video evidence that it doesn't look like she got hurt, it doesn't mean she didn't. Maybe she had a pre-existing condition, So, we'll see what happens there. But I bet you they went with my booking that I have been telling WWE is the best way to book this damn main event, because they should consult with me. My opinion supersedes anyone else's, and I should be the filter and the final consultant for all of the all the finishes. And of course, I'm joking, guys. For those that are new here, I'm being very facetious. Okay, of course I'm not being honest here, or being serious about that. But if they had booked it my way, which again would have helped everyone and still got us to this point, what would I have done again? As a reminder, Cody Rhodes is about to win. Here comes Travis Scott and The Rock, or both, whatever. Cody handles Travis Scott, gives him his receipt. I would have had him actually punch him in the face for like a real receipt. And then The Rock comes in, rock bottom. He's about to hit the people's elbow. The glass crashes. Austin comes out, stuns The Rock. They neutralize each other. Maybe that's even when, if you want to have Travis Scott, they'll throw some brass knucks in there for Cena or something, or Cena, or maybe even not that. You just have Cena grab the belt and do exactly what he did here. Hit Cody in the head with the belt. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Everybody wins. I mean, it's to me a no-brainer, but they didn't do that, and The Rock not being there, inexcusable. Outside of some crazy family emergency, which of course trumps everything, inexcusable. I don't want to hear any more. I don't want to hear any more from The Rock about long-term storytelling. I don't want to hear a thing about it. I don't want to hear that. Oh, see, you guys just wait and see. We're trying to do something different. And no, but you know what would be great if you're doing that is to be here just if you're so confident in this story, why don't you actually be here to tell it? Because you pop in and out, but there's how are we supposed to grab on to anything when you show up at Bad Blood? You said some things and then went away up until the Raw Netflix debut, pretended nothing happened at all with anybody, and then was just playing Dwayne. Show up at Elimination Chamber, have this great angle that started, and then disappear through WrestleMania. Like, WrestleMania comes and goes, and you're just not there. No one mentions you, outside of once, in a passing manner. No one understands still why John Cena did what he did with The Rock, why he aligned himself with The Rock. I don't know. This is, to me, I'm not disinterested in the story. It's just frustrating. It's not fun to have this big of gap in time between parts of the story. I'm not looking for a rush. I'm all about slow burn too. But you can't have WrestleMania come and go and not progress the storyline without The Rock there. You can't. At least, they are, but they shouldn't. That's probably a better way to put it. I think there's a better way to do this. And maybe The Rock wasn't available. I don't know. But I'm tired of hearing that. I'm sick of it. Now, one last thing. Well, two things. One, what do I grade WrestleMania overall? How I'm feeling about it? When you take night one, which was underwhelming outside of the main event and a match or two, and you take night two, I'd give it a B minus. That's how underwhelming some of the matches were on night one, but I think B minus, like a 8 out of 10, a 7.5 out of 10 is probably where I'd put it. Because night two really saved the day. The main event for night one blew me away with how good what freaking thing was. My God. And the last thing I'll say, because this needs to be said, I think over the summer, Michael Cole announced that they're coming out with a WWE Unreal. I think that's what it's called, Unreal, sometime on Netflix this summer. What it's going to be, from what I understand, is a look in the writer's room of creative. And behind the scenes, and there may be some other stuff in there that I missed, but that's the gist of it. Is we get to go behind the scenes with the writers and see, I would imagine, how they come up with what they do. Couple problems with this. While it may pique a lot of people's interest, and initially it did mine, it's like, oh wow, cool, that's the one thing we always say is, well, we're not in the writer's room, we don't know what they say, we don't know what they do, we don't know their thought process and how it goes on. It is interesting and fascinating to see how that could be done, from a fan's perspective, because it's something that we never ever see and never have access to. But is there any part of pro wrestling anymore that is sacrosanct? Is there anything anymore at all that they can do to tell us what we're watching isn't real? Sure, it's interesting. A lot of people will tune in. I don't really know if I want to. I mean, I probably will out of morbid curiosity. But number one, how do we know what we're watching is actually real, right? Because what if they're going to only show us what they want us to see, what their conversations that they record when they know they're being recorded are like? We're not going to see candid conversations that happen, the ones that are really juicy, interesting, right? So what we see in here are going to be, I don't know if pre-produced is the right word, but they're going to be very carefully selected and cherry-picked, I'd imagine, about what these conversations look like between the creative and the writing staff and Triple H and his team. So sure, it's going to be fun and interesting. So that's problem number one. The concern I have is legitimacy, that what we're seeing is, off the cuff, not cherry-picked, raw, unedited footage of how they came up with this story or that story. So that's concern one. Number two, and more importantly than that, I just don't want to be reminded every 10 minutes that I'm watching a movie. And it's like a movie in the middle of the movie telling us, hey, by the way, catch our special this summer. We're going to tell you how we came up with all the storylines that what you're about to see. We're going to tell you how, while they're not real, we're going to tell you how we came up with them. I mean, I understand the curtain's been pulled back, but they've gone too far where, like, we all understand there's not a single person on earth that I could find. I really don't believe this person exists that believes professional wrestling is a real sport where people are trying to hurt each other. We all understand what it is. Everyone. You're not insulting our intelligence by trying to make us believe. You're insulting our intelligence by telling us all the time it's not real and then expecting us to still invest. You can't have it both ways. And then bringing the words babyface and heel on screen. Bad idea. We all know what those terms are. They were insider terms that fans started using, including myself, a long time ago. But you don't use them on air. Triple H did it, and then Cody did it, and then John Cena did it, saying he's not a heel. I don't need to hear that crap. And then they're going to have a whole damn show dedicated to how they come up with storylines? Why? I know a lot of people, again, I know many of you are sitting there going, no, that'd be so cool to be able to see. But do you really want to see? The conversations will be fun, but it takes so much of the fun and magic out of this. It's taking, they've gone so damn far with this pull the curtain back and we're not trying to insult your intelligence. They've gone so far that they are insulting our intelligence. Because during the show, we're reminded this isn't real. During the show. By the wrestlers. And then we're expected to emotionally invest. Do they know how human beings work? I mean, do you have this happen during movies or any other form of television or movie entertainment? We don't. Professional wrestling is uniquely different in that it always has to be self-aware. It should not be self-aware of itself. It should be a form of entertainment that we all understand what it is, just like any movie, just like any TV show that we know is fictional, that we know stories are written beforehand. We know what we're watching is predetermined. We understand that part. You know that going in. Everyone understands that. Like everyone. But did they not understand that when they put out these shows, like the one that they're about to put out, and they put on air, on the product itself, all the time to remind us, hey, yeah, we know this ain't real. And they cut those meta promos and starting now to say babyface and heel inside of the promo. No. And some people are going to take this to believe, this dude still believes that pro wrestling is real. If that's what you're getting from this, you need to I'm banning you from this show. Like, you are banned. I will find a way to block you. I don't know how, but I will find it. So if somebody takes that from here and, I just bitch, no, you know that at some level I'm right. Emotional investment is how we care and why we care about this product. If you're not emotionally invested, guess what you do? You change a channel on anything, don't you? If something doesn't grab you, what do? Well, today's is not really changing channels. You scroll. You turn off your phone. You do something else. But WWE is now expecting us to still be emotionally invested in their product while always at every second, every opportunity being reminded of what we're watching isn't real. With shows now coming out about it and the lingo being used and the announcers being meta about it. And like, I don't know. I mean, I still love professional wrestling, but the soul of it is being attacked. Like, what keeps you, it's the old adage of taking you out of the moment. And there are so many self-inflicted wounds that WWE, that they have every single show that takes me out of the moment. And I don't know. That's just how I feel. A little bit of a rant there about WWE Unreal, which, again, I'll probably watch out of curiosity and then wish I didn't. But there it is. There's your WrestleMania review. There's your rant for those of you to comment about how all I do is complain. You've got what you wanted, so go ahead and comment. And I appreciate all of you. If you want to listen to me ad-free, patreon.com/WWE podcast is the place to go. You can also check us out on Apple Podcasts. You can go to Spotify, ad-free experience there. Pretty much everywhere is an ad-free experience. If you click on the subscribe button, there's a 1-week free trial everywhere you go as well. So my voice, as you can tell, is starting to go. Tomorrow night is the Monday Night Raw after Mania. Big show planned. You'll get my review probably Tuesday. I don't think I'll have time like I do tonight to record the show. Again, barring something insane, which I'll just force myself to do it. I'll be doing it Tuesday for the Raw review. But of course, catch me on X. I've been very active there at wrestling_audio. Search the WWE podcast on Twitter or X. I'm right there. And check us out. So that'll do it. I appreciate everybody for listening. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.